Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. My name is Sweatpants Jesus. Inzi is frozen right now. Oh, his internet just died. No, that's terrible. Oh, man, we literally just went live and his internet just crapped out. No worries. Well, I'm Sweatpants Jesus. Thanks so much for being here. This is brought to you by Betting News. Go to bettingnews.com. You can read all of my stories there. You can also read all of Nz's stories. He'll be back with us in just a minute. We had some technical difficulty with him, but no stress. Yeah, my name is Sweatpants Jesus. Thanks so much for stopping by today, guys. We've got a super special guest. We're actually doing this on Saturday. We normally do it on Sunday. But we got our morning coffee today because we got some saucy NFL games that we're going to be going through today. 2 games on the gridiron, and then we've got some games that we're going to talk about tomorrow. But we're super stoked to have our guest today. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on because NC's not here, and otherwise, like, you guys don't want to just look at my face, right? Like, that's no one wants to see that. So we got our buddy Sandy from Owner's Box. What is going on, man?
Happy Saturday, SPJ. How we feeling, brother?
Dude, I'm so good. I've got my Titans jersey on, man. I am ready to rock and roll today, brother. I am honestly, I was saying to NZ before we went on, I don't even care if they lose. I'm just so stoked that that I get to watch my boys play for something legitimate today. So How are you, man?
I'm great, dude. Saturday vibes up. I got my coffee in form with the show. I had to follow through with that, but you're gonna like what I have to say about that Titans game. I have found myself on the side, and I'm going to tease it. You're going to like it. That's all I got to say. I do believe in the Titans today, so I guess we're going to be aligned on some things today.
You texted me yesterday when we were talking about the show, and you were like, "Yeah, I might be dabbling in some Titan stuff," and it made me give that that jizz emoji face. So I'm pretty excited to hear what you have to say about that one. We'll just drop it up together right now. I think NZ, his internet crapped out. Literally, I pulled up the stream and I started talking, and his face was frozen like this. So I don't know if we might have lost him for a minute, but that's okay. We'll talk together. Like I said, guys, thanks for being here. My name is Sweatpants Jesus. This is my buddy. Is it Sandy Plashkis? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, you got it right, bro. Most people can't pronounce the last name on the first try, so you got it.
Nice. Plashkis. I dig that. So we got Chef Neff in the chat. This is one of our OGs. So appreciate you being here, Chef. Our brewer from Cincinnati, my buddy brews beer. He actually invited me and my fiance up to Cincinnati. We'll be taking a trip up there. So the way I wanted to start the show today, guys, is I wanted to talk a little bit about, I did a tweet yesterday. If you guys follow me on Twitter, if you guys are watching on Twitter, thanks for being here. If you're watching on Twitch, thanks for being here. I did a tweet yesterday talking about your 3 favorite NFL players to have a beer with. And a lot of different people gave me some different responses. But I originally posted mine, which was Jamal Williams. Oh God, I can't remember now. Oh, Jamal Williams, Derrick Henry, and Tyreek Hill. If you've watched the interviews with Tyreek Hill, that dude's a boss. I imagine maybe sipping even something stronger with him would be a good time. But so I throw the question to you, and if anybody in chat wants to throw their answers out there as well. Sandy, who are your 3 chug boys that you'd want to have a brew with?
My first guy I'd want to have a beer with in the NFL would be Jair Alexander, the Packers corner, the biggest shit talker in the whole league. I feel like he's a hard booze guy too, but I think he can get down with a beer. But that would easily be my first.
Okay. You're also a Packers guy too.
I'm a Packers guy. I would love to chop it up with him, but he's like, the Packers brand of football is not really. You don't see a lot of guys like Jair. Like, he's a talker. Like, we haven't really had one of those in what feels like decades. But he would be an all-time character to do some beers with.
Oh, for sure.
I was thinking of couple other guys. Like, I want to get a QB in there. I was thinking Patrick Mahomes, kind of a square answer. I feel like I can soak up some good info from him. Because that guy's going to talk shop, right? Like, I love talking X's and O's, and I feel like there's no other better quarterback in the league to do that with than Patrick Mahomes. So he'd be on my list probably. And then I was going to go Jalen Ramsey. I love the shit talkers. I feel like those guys are just rowdy at the bar. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I picked 2 cornerbacks, which is rare. Like, you think I'd go with like a receiver or something, but I'd say Ramsey, Jair Alexander, and Mahomes would be my 3 guys I'd probably want to crush a beer with. Mahomes snuck on my list. I feel like a lot of people would be like, oh, he's kind of dry maybe. But I feel like he'd be kind of a character if you get some beers in him.
All right. So regardless of how I feel about him, Baker Mayfield would pound
Yeah,
Betty's.
Baker Mayfield, sneaky. He'd be an honorable mention. I think he'd be my honorable mention. That's a good one.
Yes, Chef, we got the Mandy Sandy is in here. Let's go. Yeah, well, I'd be scared if I did one with Baker Mayfield because I feel like he would just like headbutt the shit out of me at some point, and I would like not know it was coming, and then like, oh my god, but that is a good one. So I adjusted my list a little bit because okay, so I think that you have to. It's feel like you have to have a quarterback on there. Like I do think that Mahomes' point is a good one, and I mean, if you watch interviews with him and Travis Kelce, like Patrick Mahomes fucks. Like that dude has a good time. There's no doubt. There's
Yeah,
that. Have you seen
100%.
that one interview with him and Travis Kelce where they were talking about where Travis was late for a meeting? And
Yeah, I saw that TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah, and like he was like, "Were you with Patrick?" And Patrick was like, "No, I wasn't with me at all." Like they that was when they like bonded for the first time. That was really
Yeah.
good. So
Well, I saw
he
he
has
was
some
drinking a
fun.
Bud Light at a Post Malone concert. Do you see that video after they won the Super
No.
Bowl that year? He was just crushing Bud Lights. Like I was like,
Oh,
that guy
dude.
fucking drinks Bud Lights. Love to see
Oh,
it.
that's
Yeah, so
hilarious.
that's
I'm
why
sure
he
that
snuck on my list. But
That's a good one. I honestly say that as you said, like kind of a square answer in this one. I almost threw Tom Brady on there just because I would love to just sit with the GOAT,
it's a balance, right? It's a balance between like guys who can crush beers, but also like you can soak in just so much fucking info you'd love to know from like a guy who's just been doing it forever,
Yeah, yeah. But the reason why Jamal Williams would hands down be number one for me. That guy is my favorite interview to watch. One of my favorite football players to watch right now. Like I love that guy. We're actually going to talk a little bit about that game as well. I know you've got some opinions probably. Oh, we've got NC back. You have internet.
There we go. Let's go.
Allergy is a hell of a drug, man.
Walmart
Jesus
Walmart
Christ.
Mac Miller coming through with the Walmart Wi-Fi. What's up, brother?
2 days in a row.
It's
Gentlemen,
okay, man.
how are we
It was
doing?
it was
Good morning,
so funny
everybody.
when we loaded. I literally started talking, and your face was like frozen like this. It was so good, dude. It was so good. Well, anyway, yeah, we got NZ now. He's his Wi-Fi is back. Welcome. Sandy and I have been kind of talking.
Chefs in chat.
We got the two chefs in chat. Sandy and I were kind of talking, like I said before, of our 3 favorite NFL players to have a beer with. What is your 3? Sandy's was Patrick Mahomes, Jair Alexander, and who was the third person? I can't remember who the third one was, Sandy.
Patrick Mahomes, Jair Alexander, and
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Ramsey. Yeah, he's got the 2 cornerbacks and the quarterback.
Yeah, the 2 loudest people in the NFL.
Yeah,
there you go. There you go.
That's my kind of crew, though.
Mine was
it's funny.
Mine from yesterday was Jamal Williams, Tyreek Hill, and Derrick Henry. Just because I'm a Derrick Henry stan, so I had to throw my boy in there. And that's a little bit of a preview for you guys for talking about this Titans game. I might be investing in Derrick Henry today, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But NZ, what are your 3?
Well, I did the same thing. Saquon is definitely the first one. He's definitely he just seems like a chill dude. I'd hang out with him in a second. Next one's Burrow because I just love him. And, like I said, the arms will be nice and full if you catch my drift. And the third one that I'm surprised Sadie didn't say would be Aaron Rodgers. I want to see his weird ass in action.
Well, because Rodgers, if you go with Rodgers, you're probably going to sneak into the ayahuasca, bro, and you'll be fucking hallucinating at the bar. That's my only thing. Like
you'll be drinking beer.
Yeah. He's like,
drinking absinthe.
Just sprinkle this dust in there. It'll be good for you. Don't worry. Yeah, Rodgers. If you go to Rodgers, you're not doing casuals, bro. Rodgers doesn't do casuals. He probably drinks like this. He drinks like the stiffest IPAs, I bet, too. So like that's probably why I left him off my list.
Bro, he's got the triple X
Scotch.
IPAs.
Yeah, Rodgers is a Scotch guy for sure. Scotch and ayahuasca. So that's
no doubt,
get into with him.
There's no doubt. Yeah, it's funny because like I said, I posted it yesterday with expecting some interesting answers, and I got some really good ones. The one that I actually wanted to adjust on my list was George Kittle. Because I'm a big Predators fan, obviously in Nashville, and George Kittle lives here in the off season, and he's really close friends with Philip Forsberg, who's a player for the Preds. And if you watch George Kittle, dude, that guy looks like just a hell of a time to hang out with. But it's a fun conversation because there's a lot of the guys in the NFL, obviously for different reasons, like you were saying, Sandy. Like maybe you just want to have a chat with someone about like the X's and O's, like incredible experiences they've gone through on the field, like just guys that are just amazing at the sport, or guys that just have a fucking great time that you just want to, knock one back with. So I thought I'd have a little bit of fun to start the day today. But yeah, boys, we've got 2 incredible NFL games today. Obviously last week of this in a regular season. It's going to be a good couple games today. We're actually on First game of the day is your boy Mahomes. Hopefully he didn't chug beers last night. Maybe he did. I don't know. But 9.5, or they're 9-point favorites right now. I've kind of seen the line switching between 9.5 and 8.5 over the last 24 hours, kind of depending upon where you're looking at on your book. They're playing the Raiders. Jarrett Stidham is starting at quarterback again this week. Derek Carr is pretty much no longer a Raider. We can go ahead and predetermine that. And the Chiefs need to win this game. It kind of came out this week about the change in the NFL schedule. It kind of got finalized over the last 48 hours that if the Chiefs win this game, they're going to be the number 1 seed. That's kind of the basic situation of this layout of how with the Bengals and Bills game not being played out and getting canceled. If the Chiefs win today, they'll be the number 1 seed. The entire AFC playoff race will run through Kansas City, and we'll have to go to Arrowhead unless the Bills get there. Then they'll have a neutral field game for the AFC champ game. Otherwise, so that gives incentive today, obviously, for the Chiefs to want to win this game. I think they wanted to win it anyways because of wanting to grab that number 1 seed, but now they know for sure. What are you boys seeing in this game? Did you have any thoughts? I know, Sandy, you mentioned that your play is in this game, so maybe you want to kick us off and talk a little bit about what you're seeing on this one.
Yeah, I'll talk the Raiders. We can talk Raiders. So today I'm on both the dogs. I'll start with the Raiders plus the 9. I locked in at 9. So I've seen it 8.5 and 9.5. I just locked in yesterday at 9, but okay. I like this number. It's too long for me. Like if you look at the Chiefs, like we'll start there because I think the Chiefs, they win these games, right? But if you look back, like they played the Texans, on December 18th. They went to overtime and beat them. The spread was like 14 or 13.5. Didn't cover that. Broncos last week, 27-24. They won by a field goal, the Chiefs. The spread was, again, double-digit spread. I've been fading the Chiefs at long spreads all season long. The fact of the matter is they don't consistently ever cover these long spreads. Yeah. I really do like this Raiders team with Stidham under center as well. I think they're a much better team. He had 360 passing yards against San Francisco last week.
Yeah, he went nuts.
That is nuts. So I really believe in this Raiders team to cover the number. Obviously, you mentioned the implications for the Chiefs. Like they're going to win this football game. There's no question in my mind about that. But what it comes down to is I don't see this being a touchdown plus win for the Chiefs. They haven't been able to do it all year. They've been playing tight games against teams that just aren't good, and they'll show up and they'll get it done, and somehow in the fourth quarter they'll win the game. But I just see this playing out similar to the Broncos game last week with them, similar to the Texans game 2 or 3 weeks ago. Like you can just look back at their games this year, look at the spreads of those games, and they're not covering the 9+ spreads. They're just not doing it. So I really like the Raiders today at the plus the 9. And then I have a prop as well in this game. This will probably be the prop I'll throw in the parlay we cook up. But I got Darren Waller over 33.5 receiving yards again. Minus 115, so a bit juicier here. But if you look back in his last 8 games, he's gone over this number 5 times, hitting the over at 63%. Again, the Chiefs defense, not the best in the league, middle in the pack in pass yards allowed per game, and bottom 10 in completion percentage allowed as well. My dog's barking. Kobe, shut up. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. The dog likes to play too. We love when the
dogs are barking, bro. I'm telling you, they're barking all day.
We love when the dogs are barking. That's the play's hidden. We know that.
But yeah, I mean, even again, like I mentioned, Stidham with 350 pass yards against San Francisco. Waller put up 72 last week, which is part of that. So he's been 3 games in a row going over this number, way over this number. I like him. Stidham really goes to this guy. Like it's one of his go-to guys. I expect that to continue today against the Chiefs defense that's really middle of the pack in the NFL in the pass game. So really like Waller over 33.5. Low number, pretty low number. Like Waller has been low just because he came back from injury, hasn't really got his feet underneath him, but the last 3 weeks he's been very consistent, and I expect that to continue today. So I'll be on the Raiders plus the 9 at minus 110, and Darren Waller over 33.5 receiving yards at minus 115.
I love that play. So this is one of those situations where obviously, like you said, he's come back from injury. And I don't think the books know where to set his line necessarily. Obviously, also game script here. We don't know if this does turn into a blowout, which I agree with you. I do think it stays relatively close with the Raiders. Maybe he doesn't have the opportunity to get this, but I watched that San Francisco game last week, and like who could have thunk it that Jarrett Stidham would be the only person in the NFL the entire season besides Patrick Mahomes that was going to throw for 3. Or I can't remember who the other quarterback was that's thrown for 300 plus on the Niners. Was it Patrick Mahomes? I know there was one other quarterback, and it was a GOAT and Jarrett Stidham. Those are the 2 that have thrown for 300 plus against the San Francisco defense this season.
It was Mahomes. Yeah, Mahomes threw for 423 and 3 touchdowns in October.
That's okay.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
that's decent. Yeah. Chef actually really likes Waller. You could wall ladder it.
Wall ladder.
Do the wall ladder.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. I mean,
40, 50,
looking
60.
at it, he had. So I'm looking here. Just give me 1 second. I'll pull up some numbers. There's also a longest reception props that I like for him too. Because last week,
That's a good look.
let me tell you right now, he had 3 20+ yard receptions last week. So his longest reception is going to be like the last 3 weeks. He had 3 20+ yard receptions against Pittsburgh the week before. He had 1, and then the week before that against New England, he had 2. All 3 of those, New England, Pittsburgh, and San Francisco, those are better defenses than the Chiefs. Like, that's a fact. Those are just better defenses. So again, I mean, you look at the matchup here. Again, we talked about the Chiefs not being great defensively. They're not bad, but they're not great. They're in the middle of the pack. So I do like this prop a lot today. In the last 5, he's averaging 40 yards per game. On the season's averaging 45, both over the number of 33.5 today. So give it to me all day for Mr. Weller.
I love that. And Z, I know you have a play in this game, or you were kind of toying with having a play in this game. What was your? Did you find one that you loved? Did you find one that
I did, but it's not in this game. But it's funny because one of the ones that I was also toying with was Davante Adams over receiving yards. I was looking at the same thing, middle of the road and protecting the pass, and I was like, okay, it should be a very high paced offensive game, and he smoked them last game earlier this year for 124 yards and 2 tutties. His line's at 79.5, I believe. I have it right here.
It was in this. 77, 78, 79, something like that.
Yeah, so I liked him, but my only reason for not giving the pick was the quarterback, and somebody on the screen just sold me on him. So I do like that play now. He hasn't been hitting his yards consistently, but as we know, he's a beast. All he needs to do is break loose, and I like that for this game. But my pick was in a different one. If you want me to wait.
No, I like this play. One thing I'll say about this too is you look at the quarterback situation. I think what Stidham does that Derek Carr doesn't is he's more consistent. Like, Derek Carr would target Adams a lot, but he's only completing. I looked at the numbers before last week. He only completed 48% of his targets to Davante Adams were completion. So that that tells me the problem isn't Davante Adams getting open. The guy's the best route runner in the NFL. He's going to get open.
Yeah.
But Derek Carr just was missing his spots, missing his throws. Stidham, more accurate of a passer, I believe, after you seeing that last game. Like, I just think Derek Carr is very below average in the completions department. So you'll see, he'll still get his he'll get double-digit targets this week, guaranteed. It's just a matter of, will Stidham be able to hit him on his routes? I mean, he completed 7 of his 11 targets to Adams last week against a really, really good defense in San Francisco. So I like this to continue. Again, Adams is a guy that will get a lot of 20+ yard receptions. He does it every week. He had 3 last week, 20+ yard receptions. He had I think his long was 60-something yards, like a big play last week. So, you can always probably bank on one big play. They're going to take the shots to him when they're open. So I do like this number, 79.5. One of the lower numbers you've seen for Adams as of late. I think, he's averaging 90 per game on the year. Last time he's averaging 95. So again, Kansas City, you said he had 124 and 2 touchdowns. So I like the line. I like over 79.5 NZ there.
Yeah, so, Chef, I see this, and I'm about to talk about this, but I just want to comment on what Sandy said real fast before I move on to McKinnon, because that's my favorite play in this game. But his touchdowns are good for plus Chicky is a good look, because it's on some books it's like minus 130. But give me a second. I just want to say what. So I just had a thought about this because Stidham, I was watching this game last week, and obviously I didn't even think about it until literally just right now. You when you were talking, the way that Stidham plays, and this is one game, right? So we have to kind of hold the horses on all the situations, but all you can do is like judge what you see with your eyeballs, right? And the way that he plays is a little bit more backyard football in a lot of ways, where it's like sometimes if the play breaks down, he's going to kind of run around, very similar to the guy that Davante Adams played with in Green Bay for a long time in Aaron Rodgers. Like, I'm not saying that Jarrett Stidham is Aaron Rodgers. Like, that's not what I'm saying here. I'm just saying that some of the ways that they were kind of like that play when Adams scored that like 60-yard touchdown was literally just Stidham rolling out, saw Adams kind of running in the back, and he was just like pointed and just kind of threw it down there. And we saw that a lot with Rodgers, obviously with Adams for a long time. I do agree with you that I think that I was kind of like last week, I was like, who's this guy? Like, the Raiders are going to get pumped. And then you watch that game and you're like, okay, the guy's earned his job here. He's earned a good situation. So let's give him a roll. So I like Adams. I think that this number is still low because they think that Stidham's not very good because they don't know who he is. But, that could be proven wrong in this situation. So that was I just had that thought. I don't, and I know you're a Packers guy, so I'm sure that that's something that you've probably thought about with Adams as well. But, yeah, just, one of those things you got to kind of compare some of these guys, especially when you don't have that much numbers to go off of, just kind of what you've seen with your eyeballs. Yeah.
Like what I've seen statistically wise, like my dad's coworker is a huge Raiders fan. So I talk a ton of shit to him about Adams. But the fact of the matter is he has 1,300+ yards and I think 12 or 13 touchdowns this year. Those are That's like if you stack those two stats against his years in Green Bay, like he only had it would have been his second or third best year of his career just based off those two stats alone. So he is playing well. He's getting the yards, he's getting the touchdowns. What I talked about the completion percentage, if Derek Carr completed 10% more of those passes, he would lead the league. It would be a career year for him. The thing is you compare the completion percentage. Rodgers, the difference between Rodgers and what Derek Carr did, there was a lot more underneath routes, a lot more slants, a lot more, 3rd and 5s where he'd go to Adams on the short routes. You're seeing Adams more down the field, a little more vertical in this Raiders offense. But with Stidham, I agree. I think Stidham is more consistent than a Derek Carr, even though Derek Carr will make these crazy throws and then he'll just make the stupidest throw you've ever seen. So it's a lot more fly at the wall with Derek Carr, where Stidham's a little more consistent. I think there's more opportunity with a guy like Stidham to kind of get these yards, where Adams will catch these, 10, 15-yard passes where Derek Carr will throw like the 9 ball to him, take a couple deep shots, and he'll complete one at like 4. So I think it's a different play style with Adams and Stidham than it was with Adams and Carr. So I do, as I said, I do like this prop. I probably won't take it personally just because I already got a lot of action in this game, but definitely do like it, NZ.
Yeah.
I love the breakdown. Fucking love it.
Yeah, man.
You guys know me. I'm more of a hockey guy than anything, but
yeah. I was hoping you'd give me some SOGs today as the slate grows.
Oh, I do.
You got some?
He's got some. I'm sure he's got some.
Brutal, bro. With Jack Hughes over SOGs and anytime goal.
What's the number in Z? What's his line?
It's minus 135. I did a 2-teamer with Brent Burns for the early game, try and build a little bankroll builder. He was minus 140 over 2.5. It came to like plus 194 or something like that. But Hughes is on fire. I mean, nobody's stopping him right now. He's hit his last 8 games. He's hit his last 9 out of 10. He's had 6 goals in those 4 in just this past 4 games. I mean, he's on a tear. They're playing the Rangers. He's hit against them his last 3 with 7, 8, and 4. And in his last 3 games against the Rangers, he's also got 4 goals. So, I mean, I love the goal for today. I love his shots. If they give me the alternate option, I may even do a little bit of a ladder like I did the other day. I mean, he should be getting 6 easy. Exactly. Why the fuck is the line still at 3.5? Exactly. And it's not even that juiced. I mean, 135 is on the borderline of getting there. But yeah, I'm with you, dude.
I think that this might be in our parlay because I love Jack Hughes too. I don't have it in like a play or anything like that. But the guy, like you said, the guy is just on an absolute heater right now. And with shots on goals, with these types of props, you just got to kind of ride the hot hand. And
it's there. So it's 5s plus 178 and 6 plus is plus 370. So I'll probably be sprinkling on those as well.
Good Lord.
You know what I love, fellas? It's like, because I don't know about you, SPJ, but I don't even look at the hockey board ever. Like I got Sir at owner's box who gives me
I was just thinking that.
I don't even waste my time. Like I don't know my hockey. I'm not going to pretend like I do, but I love getting chopped up with some hockey plays. I will be honest. I love tailing hockey. I just don't know it. Like I know football and like I know basketball and basesball. So appreciate the good insight there, brother.
Well, NZ's been the OG for me for shots on goal. I mean, I started when I kind of got into betting really consistently. Football was my main bag, but hockey was kind of my secondary one. I played basketball, so I know basketball really well just from that standpoint. But I found the shots on goal market and just hockey in general betting, especially because the lines. Because it's not as bad of a market as the NFL, as the NBA, there's not as many eyes on it. You can find a lot more advantageous spots. I'm sure Sir has kind of told you a little bit about some of that too. Like there's
I tail Sir. Sir's my guy, dude. He's been feeding me plays for what feels like 2 years. It's only been like a full year now, but he went on an absolute heater in the playoffs last year, and then I've been tailing him here. Except when he gives me the Arizona Coyotes, like fuck that hockey team, dude. The Arizona Coyotes back-to-back days. I think Avery gave it out. Not the 2 days ago, and then Sura had it yesterday. So I'm like, fuck, why does this team keep coming up, man? The Arizona Coyotes are dead to me, man. They're dead to me.
I see Trizzy in here because he'll feel the same way.
Our buddy Trizzy, he rides. He's more of a line reader type of guy, and he rode the Coyotes a couple times, and they coyoted on him. So he can feel your pain there too.
The Blackhawks fucking Coyotes game, that's got to be the worst hockey game of the season. That matchup, right?
I have a rule with hockey. If it's 2 bad teams playing, I don't even want to touch it with a 20,000-foot pole.
The under was just surefire last night.
I was automatic. I didn't.
We have a separate group chat, and in our group chat, Fruity actually came on and said, "Hey man, you should nuke the Caps today because they're going to beat the Preds." And my only response was, be careful because the Preds love to steal coins. And I didn't bet on them. I don't bet on it. I mean, I didn't bet on my team yesterday, but I'm just saying they love to steal coins. And lo and behold, the Predators just did something stupid and went and won yesterday against the Caps when they were playing their backup goalie on a back-to-back. It was just one of those situations. Why we love the NHL. But so in this, I'm gonna go back to talking about this Chiefs game because my play in this game is Jerick McKinnon over 33.5 receiving yards. The guy's been on absolute fire. Seth brought it up before about his touchdown. If you can find his touchdown at plus money, that is a really nice play as well. I saw it on some books for like -130 or -140. I think the line is kind of flip-flopping around. I don't know what's going on with that line specifically, but he scored a touchdown in 5 straight games. He scored He scored 2 touchdowns in 3 of those 5, I'm pretty sure. He also has had over 33.5 receiving yards in 3 of his last 4 games. One of the games he just didn't need to be as involved in the past. I think he had like a bunch of catches, but only had like 32 or something like that receiving yards. But if we know anything about this Chiefs offense, like when they get kind of something that's working and they get something, when Eric Bieniemy finds like a specific matchup that they are going to take advantage of, they tend to just like really ride that. Like we've seen that a lot in the past couple seasons with like Kelsey and like obviously with Tyreek Hill, but also like when they get kind of these gadget players, like they just kind of like they like to kind of just play with these toys and do them in different ways. That seems to be what they're doing with McKinnon over the last month. And I mean, if you wanted to ladder his receiving yards, I don't think that's a bad look today. When he's gone over, he's soared. He had a couple games. He had 100 plus 4 weeks ago. He had 70 plus, and then he had his game where he didn't hit his yards. But then last week he went 50 plus. I like McKinnon a lot today. I know this game. I like to hear that you think the Raiders keep this close because I kind of tend to agree in that one. So I think that there's going to be a lot more opportunities for props to hit in this game. Whereas if it turns into a blowout, then obviously we're not going to see these guys maybe in the fourth quarter. But yeah, I really liked what I was seeing from McKinnon, especially at the lower number. I got 33.5 on MGM. I saw it at 33.5 on DraftKings. On FanDuel, it was already up to 37.5. So I think that line will probably climb a little bit throughout the day, if it already hasn't. So if you guys want to play that, then I definitely would hop on that ASAP before
36.5 right now
on FanDuel.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You got to snipe some value there, SPJ.
Yeah, I found a little bit of value going. I mean, again, it was one of those deals where, like, I think he's going to soar. So I don't really think the 37.5 is too big of an issue. Like I said, like I think Pacheco could have a good game too on the ground. The Raiders' rushing defense is pretty bad, but I just think that the way watching this Chiefs offense for the past couple of seasons, like when they find something that works, when they find something that's been consistently working, they're not just going to be like, oh, that's working, let's not do that. They're just going to keep doing it and keep kind of finding ways to do it more creatively. So I love McKinnon. I love the value at the lower number. And if you want to play a touchdown for plus Chicky, like I said, he scored in 5 straight. I mean, obviously it's kind of hard to ride guys that have done something so consistently for so long because eventually the wagon wheels will fall off. But I love that play there. So I think that's it for the Raiders game. I agree with you, Sandy. I don't have a play on the side, but I would lean Raiders 9 plus 9.
Oh, I'm on the Raiders. No, that's a play for me. Yeah, I'm on them. Yeah, I love them.
Yeah, you're
playing that myself.
Are you going to play it too? All right, well, fuck it. I guess I might.
Yeah, I am. I'm riding. I'm not going to lie. I'm definitely riding.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer the Titans. I prefer the Titans spread over the Raiders, but I'm still riding the Raiders. I told you guys the Chiefs don't cover long spreads. They just don't. Yeah, I'm going to keep investing my hard-earned money into it until I'm proven wrong. Again,
like you said,
the Broncos last week, people laughed at me that I sold the Broncos on stream Sunday morning. Like you're betting the fucking Broncos plus 13. They fucking almost won the game last week.
Yeah,
like that's what I'm saying, man. You got to swim upstream sometime, boys. I'm going to continue to do it, and you know what? If the Chiefs win by 10 or more, so be it. But I'm going to keep taking it until it doesn't hit.
I think that I think you you hit the nail on the head. There we go. You hit the nail on the head with this one. The Chiefs defense is not great. So they're going to allow people to stay around in this game. Also, I'm an AFC South guy. Actually, we'll talk about the Titans in a second, which I'm so stoked.
I know you're fucking.
Dude, I am like a giddy child on Christmas morning, man. I'm so stoked. But I watch the AFC South consistently, right? And like you said, I mean, the Texans are fucking atrocious, and they allowed they went to overtime with the Texans.
The Texans should have won the game. I mean, it's what it is. They could have won the game. They were on like the 5-yard line to win, and they didn't get. They went on 4th down and didn't get it like late in the game.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody, it's the NFL. Anything can happen on any given Sunday. But like Yeah, that's my spiel. I agree with you 100%. I'm gonna have stakes in this Raiders +9 game as well. You've convinced me. Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk about the night game tonight. Titans in Jacksonville +6.5. +6.5, +6, maybe even +7. It might scooch. I think it'll stay at +6.5. It might even drop down to +6 today. For all the marbles in the AFC South, whoever wins this game wins the AFC South. Titans are on a 6-game losing streak. Don't even rub it in. I know. I've fucking watched all their games. They are on a 6-game losing streak. If they win this game, they go to the playoffs as the 4 seed in the AFC South. The Jaguars on the other side are super red hot right now. Trevor Lawrence is playing probably his best football as a professional football player. The Jags, like I said, -6. It's in Jacksonville. What do you guys think about this game? I will preface this by saying I'm going to let one of you guys go first, but I will say that I have my first ever 5-unit Johnson of ever placed in my betting career
That's what I want to
today. And I will save it for after we discuss this game a little bit more. But I have already placed it. I will be posting it later. I will tell you guys what it is in here. I'm a $25 unit guy, so it's a $125 bet. And I have, it's my first ever 5-unit Johnson. I have bet this amount before on other things when my units changed throughout my betting style, but I saw this number for this player. I can't not bet it, but so Sandy, go ahead. Tell me what you're seeing in this one. I want to know. I want to hear it come out of your mouth because I know it's going to come out, and I'm so excited for you to say it.
This is my POD today, and I bet 1 unit on everything though. That's all I bet. I don't bet. I rarely do like a heavier bet on my POD. I like a spot. I usually just keep it pretty even, but I love the Titans plus. I got 6.5, so I got the Titans plus 6.5 today. My thing with the Jags, I actually really do like this Jags season. I think Trevor Lawrence is potential to be a top 5 QB in the league. He's getting there. He's top 10, no question, the way he's been playing, slinging the fuck out of the ball really well. But one thing I love a team that game manages, relies on the run. So like a San Francisco 49ers is a great example. The Titans are another good example. They're not going to, obviously Josh Dobbs at quarterback, they're not going to kill you in the pass game. They're not going to kill you. But what they're going to do, and I know this will go hand in hand with your Derrick Henry analysis, I'm sure, but they're going to run the ball. They're going to burn clock. They're going to sustain drives to the best of their ability. That kind of makes me love the longer spread here at 6.5. I think the Jags are a bit overvalued. I know the betting splits are pretty even on both sides. A little bit of plus money diff on the Titans, but not much. But the one thing about the Jags, and shout out Tyler McKillop, he did an analysis on like why each playoff team won't make the playoffs. The Jaguars are 28th in opponent passing yards per game and are horrible on third down. Like I think they're 29th in getting off the field on third down. They just don't do that. Obviously the passing game is one of the question marks with the Titans. Like again, Josh Dobbs, Tannehill, like they're both. I don't think Tannehill's a good quarterback either. So I don't think into that too much. I think Derrick Henry masterclass is loading today. I just think that they're going to keep it close, right? They're going to run the ball. They're going to burn clock. They're going to try to keep the ball out of the Jags' hand as much as possible. You know, the Jags are going to throw. The Titans' pass defense is horrific too. So that's one thing to be kind of worried about a bit. But, you know, both teams are not great against the pass. That's just a fact of the matter. I didn't do a total in this game, but I just think the fact that Derrick Henry is back, he's healthy, right? He seems like he's ready to go, right?
He's rocking and rolling.
I don't see how you don't. Like, I like your prop. I don't see how you're not backing the Titans at plus 6.5 today. I know the Jags are going to get up for this one, but so are the Titans. The implications are through the roof for both sides, right? So I think there's a lot of value on the Titans plus 6.5. Obviously, I would love it at 7, but it's never going to get to 7. I think it goes down only from here. So give me the Titans plus 6.5, a team that's going to control the ball and try to, you know, instill their run game on the Jags defense here. So give me that for a unit.
I'm giddy, dude. I'm telling you. Call me Josh Giddy, bro. I'm so giddy right now. I can't even tell you. NZ, did you have any thoughts you want to talk about before I go on my diatribe? Because it's coming.
No, I'm waiting for it. And honestly, I'm a little confused because I thought I knew what the 5-unit Johnson was, but I don't now. So let's see.
Okay, so I told our group chat earlier this week that I possibly had a 5-unit Johnson loading for this game. And I thought that it was going to be the Titans plus 6.5. To be all honesty, as you said, Sandy, I am normally only a 1-unit person as well. I do not like putting multiple units on plays. I broke my rule today because I looked at it and I was like, I got to do this, man. It feels like the right time. I do have a unit on the Titans plus 6.5. I agree with you. Everything you said is accurate. The other thing about this too is the fact that when the Titans played, I like the fact that you mentioned the Jaguars defense and they're last in the NFL on third down, because when the Titans played the Jags earlier this season, like a month ago, if you just box scored, looked at this game and you didn't watch the game specifically, you would just say, oh, the Jaguars pumped the Titans at home. Like they beat them by 2 touchdowns. Like what the hell? But if you watch this game, the Titans turned the ball over 4 times. They were moving the ball. Derrick Henry had over 100 rushing yards in the first quarter. They could not stop him. They have never been able to stop him. They will not be able to stop him today. The only thing is if the Titans make any bad, crucial errors in this game, the Jags are going to win. Like it's just one of those situations where if they do everything they're supposed to do, if they control the clock, if they kind of game manage the way that you kind of mentioned, this game will stay close, no doubt. Everything is on the line here. Mike Vrabel is one of the best game managers in the entire NFL. I don't think that this game is going to get out of hand. I do not think that Trevor Lawrence is going to run away with it. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a top 5 QB in this game, but I have a feeling that he's going to make a couple mistakes today. I have a feeling that could be a possibility. But so agree with you. Titans plus 6.5. Love that play. I'll have a unit on it.
I mean, yeah. Sorry to cut you off there, but
go.
One stat here. So Mike Vrabel, you brought him up. I think he might be the best coach as an underdog in the NFL. I don't care who the fuck's at quarterback. I don't care if fucking NZ's at QB today. They're going to find a way to cover this spread. They're 24-16-1 ATS, hitting over 60% during his tenure in Tennessee. Like including 9-4 ATS with 6 or more points. They're 9-4 ATS with 6 or more points. They're amazing. They came into Lambeau and I faded the fucking Titans. They beat the fucking brakes off the Packers. What did they do? They ran the ball. They kept the ball to Aaron Rodgers' hands. That is how you win in the NFL. That's why the 49ers, I love the 49ers. I know everyone's on them and the train's rolling right now, but they're going to run the fucking ball down your throat and they're going to keep it out of your hands. And that's how you win in the playoffs. That's how you win late in the season. I think that is why I'm on the Titans. That is exclusively why I like the Titans today. I think that's a big part of it. But yeah, I do. If you're looking for more insurance on this game, I don't mind the teaser. If you tease the Titans up, I think you get them to 13 or 13.5, and then the over 32, 33. I love that too. I think there'll be some points in this one, but I think again, there's going to be, it'll be close either way.
Yeah, 100%. We've seen a trend this season, and it's starting to shift this season, and I think we will see it moving forward, that more and more teams are going to start having more of a ground and pound offense, especially we've seen this a lot in the NFL with like shifts of like offenses do one thing that work really, really well because they take advantage of what the defense does. And then there's a shift the other direction to kind of counterbalance that, right? And this season, I think that we have seen that more and more teams are noticing that like, hey, if a team's going to play a dime package, right, we're expecting like a lot of receivers to come out and things like that. They're just going to put their heavy package on the field and they're just going to run the ball down your throat and they're going to control it. Because at the end of the day, if somebody breaks your will like that and they run it at you and you can't stop it, it's so demoralizing. So yeah, but my 5-unit Johnson, Derrick Henry over 92.5 rushing yards.
Get up SPJ, come on.
5 UJ for me. I liked it when I saw it come out earlier this week. It dropped on Prize Picks first at 91.5 and then it came out on the books at 92.5. Derrick Henry masterclass loading, like you said. Here are the numbers behind this. Obviously, like I watch this team religiously, so I don't have to. I can talk about this at nauseum. I'll be thinking about it all day long. But here's the deal. So first of all, there's a lot of incentives on the line for Derrick Henry today. He needs 70 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns to be the first ever player in NFL history to have 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns in 3 seasons. There are 7 other players right now that are tied with 2, and he is one of those players. If he has 70 yards and 2 touchdowns, he will be in sole possession of first place on that list. And we're talking about Hall of Fame list, man. We're talking like Barry Sanders. I can't remember some of the other guys. Jim Brown is on there. Like, Hall of Fame dudes.
Yeah.
The last 3 games, like you said, he didn't play last week against the Cowboys. They rested him because they didn't need to win that game. The last 3 games before that, he had 126 rushing yards, 104 rushing yards, and he had 121 when they played the Jags a month ago. And he had like 100 in the first quarter. His last 7 games against the Jaguars, he's at 121 yards, 130 yards, 215 yards, 84 yards, 159 yards, 44 yards, and a whopping 238 yards on Thursday Night Football when he had that crazy 99-yard touchdown run.
God damn.
In his last 7 games, in those 7 games against the Jags, he has 13 touchdowns. 13 touchdowns.
Holy
this
fuck.
This guy owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's also from Yulee. He's from like down the street in Jacksonville. He's from this city. He owns this city. The Jags know it. He knows it. The entire stadium today is going to know that Derrick Henry is going to get the ball, and no one gives 7 fucks. Like, he is going to get the ball. He's going to run it down their throats. It's just a matter of whether or not he has enough opportunities to do that. Based upon what happened in this last game, he dominated them in the first quarter. He broke their will. If they would have not turned the ball over, I'm pretty sure that the Titans would have won this game pretty easily. And I just Thank you, man. Oh my light died. Everybody's running through walls, dude. I'm telling you, it's all happening right now, man. I cannot tell you how much I love Derrick Henry today. If he does not get his rushing yards, I honestly don't care, because he's going to have every opportunity to. The Titans are going to lean heavily on him. Masterclass loading. I think if you wanted to bet him, his touchdown line was like minus 110 when it first came out, which is absolute jokes. I don't understand why it was minus 110. I think it's minus 125, minus 130 now. I'd still bet it. I think it's a good bet. Yeah, he's going to have plenty of opportunities today to. They know. All right, to be fair, Josh Dobbs actually played pretty well against a decent Dallas defense on Thursday Night Football last week. Josh Dobbs is going to have opportunities today to at least show what he's got, because they have to throw the football. They can't hand it to Derrick Henry 75 times. I mean, if they could, they would. But I again, 5-unit Johnson, man. I think that says enough. I just don't understand why. I agree with you too. I don't understand why this is 6.5. Point spread. I thought it was going to be closer to like 3.5, something like that. But when it came out at 6.5, I couldn't bet it fast enough. I love this line. I love my team today. Honestly, I have a half unit on them to win outright at plus 225. I think that the Jags are going to do some jaggy things today. And again, if the Jags win outright, it is what it is. I think they're the better overall football team on paper. They've had the most. If you look, there was a graph I saw. I posted it on Twitter earlier this week of like the amount of injuries that teams have dealt with in the NFL this season. The Titans have been the absolute worst. They've been so injured all season long. They have barely had their entire lineup on the field for a single snap, pretty much. And the Jags have had 0 injuries. They have had 0. I'm talking nobody has been hurt the entire. They lost their left tackle, I think, a couple weeks ago. That is literally the only substantial injury they have had all season long. It's insane the amount of injury luck that they have had. And sometimes in the NFL, you just got to get lucky and you got to not lose guys from injuries. Obviously, there's strength and conditioning programs that people do. Yeah, honestly, I'd sprinkle that. I'm just saying. Yep, just saying. Yep, that's a good bet.
It's like he's like looking at my screen. I have.
Did you just pull that up?
I got Henry 100 plus 2 touchdowns, and then the Titans plus 6.5. It comes to like 820, 811 rather. Plus 811.
Henry minus 122 on Barstool. Is that for the touchdown, Paul? I'm sure it's probably the tutty. Yeah, the best odds. Yep, minus 122. It was minus 110 when it came out. That was a joke.
Honestly, that seems fucking free. I don't bet ATD ever. Like I probably placed one ATD bet all season.
ATD bets are hard, dude.
Dude, I just like, for me, like my strategy with betting props in the NFL especially is like I do this in NBA too. Like I don't take. I don't know, you guys, a lot of people do this, but I don't take like the top players on the team. I never do that. I think those are always overcorrected or corrected properly, where there's like, you can take a guy like the third wide out on the team at like 15.5 or 20.5 yards. I bet that's where I'll bet props. I'd never bet like, it's rare. And Waller's kind of in the higher tier. Like that's probably the highest I'll go. Not to knock on the Nick Adams pick. I don't bet that stuff just because I think there's just too many people going over. Like how many people are going to go take, Devontae Adams under today? That's kind of how I look at it. But
well, that's I'm like I hate unders. I will never. If you ever see me play,
I don't bet unders. T-Mac bets unders. That guy's a sick puppy though.
Dude, no way, man.
I gotta tell you a story about it. So the incentives like Barstool Sportsbook.
I was gonna bring this up. I saw.
We made a TikTok. Yeah, he had like 700K views. He's taking the under on Zay Jones receiving yards, the under on Christian Kirk receiving yards, and I believe the other one was, I'll tell you right now.
Was it Evan Ingram?
Evan Ingram, yeah. He's taking the under on all 3 because like Barstool's tweeting, why is a sportsbook tweeting all these incentives? Yeah, come on, man. Like I'm with T-Mac on this because I early in the week I was like, fuck, I got to look at these incentives and kind of get some action on them. I'm personally going to stay away. Obviously, some of them are going to hit. That's just how it works. But
sure.
I mean, they're obviously inflated. Like Evan Ingram's 51.5, highest it's been all year. Christian Kirk, I think, is like 62.5, 63.5. He's taking the under on these. He's built different. I'm not taking the under, but I definitely see why. It makes sense why you would want to take the under on some of these. That's
for sure.
You kind of
I think the inflated number also, yeah, okay, so your point is 100% valid. And actually, Nzee and I last week talked about some of these incentive plays because I posted an article about it before it kind of became common knowledge in the betting space of like, hey, you should check these out. Like this is because it's too popular now. Like it's too much of a thing. There's too many eyes on it for it to not, like, the sports books aren't stupid, right? Vegas knows. And they've set these lines accordingly based upon this information, because at the end of the day, this is data that matters to what they're baking into these lines.
100%,
However,
yeah.
I do think that the matchup also kind of adds to that as well, because Evan Ingram torched the Titans when they played him a month ago. He had like 160 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. That he's a bad matchup for the Titans. So I do think he could have a decent day today. That's the only under that I saw that he was on that I was like, oh, I don't know. He might torch him again.
Yeah.
That could happen. But one more point on the Titans, and then we can talk about if any other NFL games we want to talk about. But the thing about the Titans too is they're the healthiest they've been all season today. Their defense is as healthy as it's been since the start of the season. They have Christian Fulton is back today, a cornerback. They have Jeffrey Simmons, who is pretty much healthy today. They have Danico Autry. They have pretty much their entire front seven back today for this game, which hasn't happened, like I said, pretty much since the beginning of the season. So a lot of the numbers that you're seeing on the Titans defense, especially from a passing perspective, comes from the fact that this team has had Joe Schmoes playing in the secondary, and dudes that I religiously watch this team and follow them. Sometimes they'd have a guy come on the field and I'm like, who the fuck is that guy? I've never heard that. Never seen that dude. Who's that guy? That's how injured they've been. So this game today is the first time that their entire starting defense, besides a couple guys that went on IR, are actually playing in this game. I think that could add into this as well. So yeah, I'm stoked on the Titans today. I'm always scared taking my team, especially in these situations, because you don't want the double sadness of losing your team and you also losing your bet. But it's the right bet. I think everything kind of points to it being the correct bet. I think this game does stay close, and I think that Henry's going to have plenty of opportunities to get his yards. So.
I mean, out of respect, there's no way I'm not tailing Derrick Henry out of
yes.
Jay, and bro, I got to get on that with you. I'll be on
that
with you for sure.
Thank you.
I mean, fuck, I love the anytime touchdown too. It's as stupid and square, and how much I never bet ATD. I mean, it just makes way too much sense based on the nuggets you were giving. How do you mean just destroys this Jaguars team? So I don't know if they're trying to trap us or what, but I still see fucking tons of value at -122 or whatever.
Bro, who else is going to score on this team? Like, I know that they're going to try. They're going to. Well, also, again, he's from this area. He destroys this team every time he goes to Jacksonville. He is hanging out with his aunt and seeing his mom and seeing his homies that he grew up with. Like, this dude loves this area and he loves going to play there. This game means a shit ton to this team. Means a shit ton to him. He's healthy. He didn't play last week. He's also pissed he didn't play last week, because if he would have played last week, he probably would have gotten a touchdown and would have gotten 75 to 100 yards, and he would have been a lot closer to achieving what I mentioned before, the 70 yards and the 2 touchdowns, to be the only player in NFL history. Like, at this point, the Titans may not have a good season the next couple seasons, but Derrick Henry is going to be a Hall of Famer, and he's trying to firmly solidify that right now. He's going to run like an absolute fucking madman, and I want to be all about it. So. NZ, did you have any thoughts that you wanted to comment on this, man? I know that we've talked about it. You were expecting me to say the Titans +6.5 based on what I said in the group chat, but I pivoted a little bit.
I was expecting one or the other because I know that's your bread and butter, but either way, I mean, I don't hate it at all. I mean, we looked at the stats against them the last game they played, even though he didn't hit them all, and he just owns them. I mean, I didn't realize that he's from that area, so I love that narrative too. If it's that big of a game, if it's a little historical mark behind him, I'm sure everybody's going to turn out to come and see him play.
You know what? One thing before, sorry to interrupt you, I just forgot this one point too, is I know it's square, right? Like, it's like Derrick Henry's rushing yards. Like, no shit, why not bet that? I haven't seen a lot of people talking about that. I will say that I haven't seen it all over the pages. Like, I haven't seen a bunch of people saying, bet Derrick Henry's rushing yards. I haven't seen a bunch of boosts necessarily about it. Like, and that
I was going to say, that would be my next question. What are the books doing? The boosts everywhere?
That's encouraging to me. I mean, obviously there is I think I saw a boost on MGM that was like Derrick Henry 100+ touchdown and Titans to cover, and it was like +400. But +400.
Oh, fucking Christ! That's literally what I built in front of me.
Yeah, but I mean,
you got better odds though. +400. Is that all you get?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you got +8, whatever you said.
+811.
Yeah. I think that there you go. Anytime from -119 on Caesars, that's a good bet. Yeah. Again, I like the fact that I haven't heard a lot of people talking about it today, because it's swept under the rug a tiny bit, which I don't know how you sweep a 6'3", 260-pound running back under the rug, but I like that aspect of it. So sorry, that was just you jogged my memory there, so you can continue what you were saying.
No, I mean, yeah, and he needs the yards and both touchdowns to get this record. He has to score twice.
He has, yeah. So he has 13 touchdowns, and I posted it earlier on Twitter, but I'll repost it today. He needs 1,500 rushing yards and 15 touchdowns to be the first in history to have 3 not consecutive seasons. It's just 3 seasons in total. So, I mean, he could obviously do it again next year. I think he would have crushed it last year, but he got hurt. So, yeah, this is his opportunity to kind of put himself in at least one category so far of like the only person in history so far to do something. So, I mean, the 2 touchdowns is probably, I mean, that's obviously a lot harder. Even 1 touchdown is difficult. The 2 touchdowns is a little bit more of a juicy bet. That's like plus 500 if you really wanted to get spicy. But the 70 yards to me just feels so attainable.
Didn't he have the 2 touchdowns even though he didn't hit the yards last time?
No, he scored 1. I mean, last game they played, he had 100 in the first quarter. So I mean, I hope he does that again today, and I'll just be chilling. But if he had a touchdown, he would have probably had 2, but he fumbled. He fumbled in the end of the second, like in the second quarter. They were driving, and he was getting close to the end or near the end zone, and like he fumbled on like the 20-yard line. Right. So, but he's fumbled pretty consistently. He's fumbled in like every game past month. So I think that will be a point of emphasis today. So watch out for that. I'm not going to bet on Derrick Henry to fumble, but it is something that has been kind of happening consistently for this team. So, yeah, that's my 5UJ. I'll be posting it in a little bit. I'm going to put a little video together. I am very excited. I'm very excited for this game tonight. I'm like kind of jittery right now. It's probably because I've got a couple cups of coffee in me too, and I've been talking about this. But I'm very stoked. I think it's going to be a good game. I really do. And if the Titans lose, they lose. I know they're bullish on defense getting healthy, but how do you feel about the over? Well, I know Sandy did mention the teasing the over. I do like the over.
Yeah, I like the over too. Well, we talked about the defenses. Both aren't great. Jags are horrible on third down. They're 28th in the league in pass yards allowed per game too. I know the Titans are going to try to run the ball. Josh Jobs not an all-world air it out QB, but the Titans pass defense is worse. So they're the worst, and then the Jags are like second or third worst. So they're both really horrific in the pass. The teaser, Chef Neff bets. That's what I would do. Like I locked in the spread straight because again, it's Vrabel as a dog of 3 or more. It's like hits at like 70%. So I had to take the spread straight. But if I didn't, I would be teasing the Titans to plus 13 and a half, and the over down to 33. I think you can get it at all day long. I love it. So I would do that if you haven't locked anything in yet and you like the over.
I would agree. I think this game, I think there's going to be a lot of points. I think it's going to be exciting. I also I'm interested why they didn't flex this game tomorrow night. I've seen some scheduling questions about this game. And we can kind of pivot a little bit now and talk about some games tomorrow. We don't have to talk about all the games tomorrow. There's a lot of games. There's a lot of different things. We've been on for a while now. So what I want to hear your thoughts on your Packers in a second, but I didn't know why they didn't flex this Titans Jags game to Sunday Night Football and put the Packers and the Lions in the window with the Seattle Seahawks. Because obviously if the Seahawks win tomorrow, the Lions are done. I don't think it's going to change that much in the narrative of the game. It will obviously change the fact the Lions can't go to the playoffs, but they're going to want to bounce the Packers either way. But I was a little bit interested to see why the Titans and why this game wasn't on Sunday Night Football and why the Packers game wasn't involved just as their normal slate of games. So I don't know if you had any thoughts or if one of you guys had a thought about that.
I agree. I'd rather have my Packers in primetime. Aaron Rodgers in primetime is a primetime killer, especially in the division. He's unreal in primetime. So I'm happy it's that slot. But yeah, again, it's the Seahawks have the fucking Rams, and the Rams are a shitstorm right now. So, I mean, you'd like to think the Seahawks are going to win this game. Anything can happen late in the year, but I definitely think that it would have been this game's implications. It's winning, you're in, right? That's for sure. Like the Packers might have the Lions might not be playing for anything, but you said it, like the Lions are going to get up for this game regardless if there's playoff. Like if they knock the Packers out of the playoffs, that's their Super Bowl. That is their Super Bowl. That's what they're going to try to do regardless of what happens in that Seahawks game. But the spread's at 4.5, 5 now for the Packers. I hate it. I'm not going to, again, no. Packers are going to, I think the Packers win the game. I hate the spread. It's a middle number too. It's past the 3 and it's below the 6, below the 7. It's in the middle. I don't love it. And I'm a biggest Packers guy on the planet. And I'm telling you guys, I don't like it. So I'll probably, whether I find a prop or I go to the total, like the total is even high at 49, pretty public on the over, which is funny. I kind of lean under in this game, divisional game, end of the year. Packers, again, a team that's going to run the ball. They're going to try to establish that, try to waste some clock. I think that's what they'll do. And the Lions, obviously, they can score a ton of points too. But that defense, people sleep on the Lions defense. It was like the worst in the league. They led the I think through 6 weeks, the Lions led the NFL in offense from a scoring perspective, and then they had the worst defense. So they were still losing with the best offense. Now the defense in the run game, they've gotten much better. The pass game a little bit better as well. So people are seeing the Lions are like, oh, this team's terrible defensively. They're actually gotten much better from where they were early in the year, and the Packers defense is playing all time right now as well. So if I had to give a pick in this, I'd lean under 49, and then the Detroit Lions spread. Like, to be honest, go ahead and cook up a fucking teaser piece. Lions plus the 11. You get them past the number of 10 there, and you go under 55. Like, surefire. That's what I mean. I'm not betting that because I'm not fucking betting on the Lions. But that's what I would do personally. I know I'm a big teaser guy, so you guys will probably. I get chirped because there's no value in the teaser. People say 66% of the time if you parlayed them, they hit. But I mean, again, big game. End of the year, playoff implications on the line. Teasers are great because these teams will play each other very, very hard and throw out all stops to kind of keep the game close. So I do like that teaser, and I lean the under if you're looking for a straight bet.
Bro, teasers be hitting. I agree with you.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Teasers be hitting. We got a request for you, man. Do you have a prop in the NBA tonight?
Oh,
I do have a prop, but I'll let you go first if you found one.
SportsBetter is an active Lines and Lunch community member. Love SportsBetter. He's sharp as fucking CBB too. If you guys are looking for a guy to tail,
you actually mentioned that. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, brother. Appreciate you being here.
SportsBetter's the man. I haven't looked at the board, TBH, but Paul, I can't take Paul fucking seriously, man.
He responded to my 3-person, the person to have a beer with in the NFL, and one of his was Jimmy G because he wanted to let his wife drool. And I told him, I said, bro, Jimmy G is a handsome fucker, man. I'd probably be drooling too. Everybody loves Jimmy G.
My girlfriend just said he's so hot. She's sitting right next to me.
He's so hot. She wants Jimmy G on your list now too, so she can drool, bro.
What was I saying? NBA props. So I don't have anything locked in right now. SportsBetter. I haven't even looked at the board. Got a little bit of a late start this morning. I had to go grab my coffee, but I will probably play at 1 or 2. I'll share them in our Discord. But I did find a glitch. I don't know if you guys saw my tweet or the TikTok I made, but Nick Claxton, the center on the Brooklyn Nets.
Yes, I did
this
see that.
motherfucker, bro. The freest bet in the NBA, and it's not close. It actually is steals and blocks line. So his steals and blocks line is set at 2.5 every fucking night. I found this line a month ago or so, and it was even money and even plus money. So I was betting at like plus 100. He has hit this over 2.5 blocks line in 14 of the last 14 games, flying over. Like he had 6 last night. He's been absolutely skyrocketing over this. 14 of his last 14 and 24 of the last 30 games. He's hitting this line at 80% in the last 30 games. It is, I've been betting for years. I've never seen something like this. This shit is freer than air. Put it in your parlays. It's at minus 160 now. Like last night, my buddies were betting it at minus 160 because it's actually that free. The implied odds on this are like minus 800 if you look at the numbers and actually crunch it up. Every night, Nick Claxton automatic. I don't think the Nets play tonight. I
was gonna say, dude, can we throw that in our parlay? Because they
don't play tonight. But when they play Sunday against the Heat.
I'll be
go ahead and book that for a unit or two. Or
cash last night in the first quarter.
It hit in the first quarter. Not only the first quarter, in the first 3 minutes of the game, he had 3 blocks.
Oh my
Jesus Christ,
dude! It's automatic. I know SportsBetter. I mentioned it on our stream like a week or 2 ago, and SportsBetter and I've been tracking it like every game, bro. I'm telling you, this shit is. I've never seen. Again, I'm probably jinxing it because I made the TikTok and started doing all that shit. But
it's bound to.
Last night I made the TikTok, and then he hit it the fastest he's ever hit it. 3 minutes, bro. On like I was at dinner. I looked at the box score. 8 minutes left in the first quarter. He had 3 blocks, and I'm like.
Dude, that's an L word. I don't use the L word, but that's an L word.
Either, but fuck, man. If you like, put it in your parlay. It's like a 2-legger. Go find someone else you like and call it a day. I'm telling you guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's okay. Well, tomorrow that's going in. Whatever.
Tomorrow they got the game. They're on the road.
Yeah, go look for that.
Yeah. I'm gonna take my Derrick Henry winnings and I'm gonna put it into that. That's what I'm gonna be doing. Actually, I have an NBA play. I haven't dig. You know what? I'm gonna just say it. It's so square. It's so chalky, and I don't really care. I'm playing Lauri Markkanen over 27.5 passing yards, 27.5 points. He's returning, also playing against his former team in Chicago. He obviously played for the Cavs, but he played for the Bulls before that. But if you've been watching Markkanen play basketball right now, dude, this guy is on an absolute fucking mission. I don't understand how you can't bet on him. I know 27.5 is his highest line so far this season. It's been 26, 25.5, 26.5. It's been creeping up. But if you've been watching what this guy's been doing, Also, we've talked about this with Vsauce the other day and some other NBA sharps as well. This is the point of the season where guys are trying to get as many all-star votes as possible. They're trying to make that all-star game. They're trying to kind of have that push to be a part of that conversation. Lauri Markkanen is totally in that conversation right now. And if he has a couple more games like he's had over the past 2 weeks, he is going to be probably an all-star. So I love 27.5 for Markkanen. It's a little bit juiced towards the over when I was looking at it. I think it's kind of more settled down to like an even like minus 115 right now.
Yep.
I haven't booked this
That's
yet,
what
but I looked at it when I got up this morning because I was so giddy about the Titans. And my brain's so focused on that I can't even kind of look at some other things. But I like Lauri today. I know it's square. I know it's chalky. I don't really care. It was square and chalky when I took it the other day, and he had 42 points. So
yeah, I think he had 49, didn't he?
Yeah, sorry,
game 49.
49 career high
against Houston.
Yeah, well, that was a great matchup. They're the worst team against the power forward scoring.
You got another match. Well, I'm looking at the numbers here. So in the last 5 games, he's averaging 34.2 points a game. And he's hitting the over in the last 6. So 6 of his last 6 games, he's gone over at his point. I'm talking over the 27.5 number, not just over the line. So he's been flying over the number that it's set at today, averaging over 30 in his last 10 as well. So the line's there, the value's there. Bulls defensively, I know, Chef, you were in chat talking about how the Bulls is like they're going to work the Bulls tonight. The Bulls are 20th in the league in points allowed at 117.4. They're 21st in field goal percentage allowed, second worst in the NBA, or second worst in the NBA in 3-point allowed, and second worst in 3-point percentage allowed, where Markkanen does a lot of damage. So the matchup is set there totally. They're also second worst in the NBA in defending the powered forward position. So Markkanen set up in another great matchup tonight. I do like this. I probably won't have too much NBA, but I mean, I think you're onto something here.
I actually kind of like these games, the days where the NBA is not the forefront of people's minds, like when the NFL is on, because then there's a lot of value and a lot of those timeout. Yep, we're getting the tea.
He was just pulled from the book.
Oh, I wonder if there's.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Here he is. He's there. My bad. He's not listed for P&A, which is what threw me off. I for some reason thought I was looking at something else.
He makes me hot thinking about Markkanen tonight. Same, bro. His PR is a good look too. I think it's 35.5. I mean, he could crush it with just points, and he obviously is a good rebounder as well. Also, this is about the matchup. I mean, you just read all those numbers, and all those numbers are sexual. But I also Nikola Vucevic is a terrible defender. He's a down low defender, but Markkanen, as you talked about, does a lot of his damage from the outside. He's one of the most athletic 7-footers in the league right now. Vucevic can't hang with this guy. They don't have anybody on the Bulls right now that can match up well with Markkanen, and the way that he's been playing is just it's too good to ignore. So 27.5, give me that. I will be booking that by the time we get off of this. Most likely, I looked at it this morning. I liked it, didn't book it yet, but that will be my NBA play today. I'll be tweeting that out too. All right, boys, let's cook up.
I think I found a free teaser.
Free teaser? We like free teasers.
Yeah. We love free teaser. That's right up my alley.
I know. If you buy the 4 points for
Titans, NBA, 4 in football.
For football. I mean, that's what the FanDuel gives you the option. I did 4 to bring it to 10.5, and then the Raiders 13.5 as a 2-teamer. It's plus 110. That just seems free. Buying 4 points, and they look like they're already going to cover.
Well, you're going to get that past the 10 and 10.5, right? If you get the 4 there, or 10.
Yeah, 10.5 and 13.5.
So 10.5 for the Titans, and then 13.5 for the Raiders.
For the Raiders, and it comes to plus 110.
I would like it more if you got the 14 with the Raiders, to be honest. But just because the teaser, the value, you lose a bit of value if you do a little teaser.
So it brings it to that's not bad. It brings it to plus 11 and plus 14 at even money, plus 100. It's not bad.
I mean, it makes not bad. I would I don't know. I like it. I like it. I'm on both regular spreads, so it lines up with what I'm on. But
if you guys wanted to get a little more interesting and a little more adventurous and like get the plus money there, that is a good one. So for sure. But I mean, I'm so invested in this Titans game. I'm gonna ride the Raiders plus 9 with you guys now because I'm invested there too. But do you guys want to cook up a parlay now? Because we are at that point where let's cook. Let's see what we want to come together with here.
I think we already nailed it, to be honest with you.
What do you think, Enzi? What's your
Lowry, Jack, and Waller.
You guys don't want to. I mean, I already have 5 units on Henry, so we can maybe keep him out of this if you want.
Respectfully, yeah.
Respectfully. I don't want to cry 7 million tears. So Lowry, Jack, and Waller.
I mean, I was just thinking because those were the picks we were talking about. We can do whatever. It doesn't make a difference
Well,
to me.
chat, what do you guys think? Does anyone have any thoughts in chat? I know that. Does anyone have any thoughts on Vooch rebounds? I do not. I did not have any thoughts on that. To be honest, I know Chef is a big Bulls guy. Maybe he can answer your question. AF Ellens 21, Felons 21. I don't know about Vooch rebounds. He's been a wagon, and he probably will have a lot of chances tonight. But no boards for Vooch. So the Bulls man himself says no boards for Vooch. So take that for what you think. Take that for stay away from Bulls props tonight. Even I think DeMar could have a good game, but that would be the only thing I'd want to touch there. Okay, so I love Jack Hughes SOGs, as you mentioned, Inzy. Love that. I love your Waller take, Sandy. I really love that one too. I mean, I like Laurie too. We talked about it, so I guess maybe that is our 3-teamer. I feel pretty good about that one. It's probably decent value too because none of them are super juiced. So
I'm getting plus 511. I'll bring it up in 1 second.
You like plus 511?
I mean, we can do it on Prize Picks if you want.
It doesn't matter, man. Whatever you think. Whatever's the better value, I think. If we wanted to do it on FanDuel or another book, that's also fine. I mean, obviously, guys, as always, like if you want to book something, book it wherever you get the best value, whatever your book has, whatever book you're using, whatever we book it on, doesn't have to be the same for you. If you find a better line that you like on another one, bet it there. Yeah. I mean, this seems pretty good. 3 job doers doing their jobs. Nothing. We're not asking for anything insane. I mean, Laurie 27.5. That high number it is high, but dude's been crushing.
Yeah, it doesn't scare me.
Nah, he's been crushing. I literally looked yesterday, and he had like 18 points in the middle of the second quarter, and I was like, oh, sweet, we're cruising. So yeah, I mean he's due for a down game, but I think I like the added bonus of the fact that he played for the Bulls, so he's going to want to play well against his former squad.
In their house too.
Yep, in Chicago. Yep, 28.5 on Caesars and Bet Rivers. Yeah, so that line's moving. So let's should we go ahead and book this then? So we got Laurie Markkinen over 27.5. Darren Waller over, is it 33.5? 33.5, right?
36.5.
Yeah, it's at 30. I like it. I took it at 36.5 too. It's funny. I dove into this like 3 hours ago and it's already moved up 3, but we'll still play that. 36.5. Yeah.
Well, if you can find 33.5 on one of your books, guys,
go ahead and
lock that in. That's a good one. And then Jack Hughes over 3.5 SOGs. If you can find decent value, I think I'm seeing, is that one minus 143 on the book right now, NZ?
Minus 140. It went up a little.
Yeah, if you can find Hughes around minus 1, I mean, minus 140 is kind of my top for playing something straight. I don't really like to buy that much juice, but if you guys, depending on how you like to bet, like if you wanted to find something minus 130 or minus 135 for Hughes on your book, if you can get that, I'd book that. But yeah, this parlay feels nice. I feel like we should not overthink it and just roll with it. What do you guys think? What do you think, chat? Does that sound like a plan?
511 here on this one.
Yeah,
I like it.
I feel like that's, we're not asking too much. I feel like it's nice and, 5-0. Let's not get greedy. And obviously place all these straight as well, guys. Everybody's giving good reasoning behind all of these plays. These are all nice value as well. I mean, Hughes is a little bit juiced now, but you can play all of them individually and get, this is the one. It is smacking. I feel like this is the first one. So we've done this show now for 2 months. We have not hit a parlay yet. We've come pretty close, but I feel like this is the one. Today's the day. All right, I'm gonna Sandy, bro. It's been I did it wrong way around. Oh no, oh god, I'm pressing all the wrong. There we go, pressing all the wrong buttons. Sandy, bro, it's been so great having you, man. I really appreciate it. Obviously, if you guys are not following Sandy, please go follow Sandy on Twitter. Follow Owners Box on Twitter. Follow them on Twitch. You can watch their lines at lunch every single day. Follow Sandy as well. Yeah, it's a great show. It's really awesome, very informative. He and the guys chop up the slate as well during the day. They cook up a parlay. They do a lot of things with the community. So get involved with what they're doing. But I'll let you plug anything else you got going on, man. Just go for it.
You guys knocked it out of the park. Appreciate you guys for having me on.
Always.
Fucking follow BN content, man. You guys are crushing it. I told you guys, anytime you want me on, I'm happy to partake. But yeah, I think this parlay's hitting. Vibes are up today. Titans all the way, baby. Keep the vibes up, SPJ. Keep the vibes up. We believe.
Love it.
Tighten up, baby. I'm gonna be writing some stuff today. I'll just follow me on Twitter, Sweatpants Jesus. Obviously, follow my buddy NZ as well at Walmart Mac Miller, and follow BN content. Like Sandy said, we're gonna be doing a lot of stuff in the new year, so kind of stay rolling with us. Thanks for following us on Twitch if you're on Twitch right now. Thanks for following us on Twitter if you're on Twitter. And I will. NZ, did you have anything else that you wanted to say, brother?
Sandy, thank you for coming, man. And like Sweatpants Jesus said, make sure you're following all the boys at Owner's Box. Great group.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we'll have to have some other guys on. We'll have to get Sir on here. Enzy's been talking about just having a hockey guy on.
Dude, hockey slate chop up sesh. I would love that shit.
Oh, dude, we'll get in Sir's DMs.
We may or may not have one coming Thursday if anybody's around to tune in.
Well, yeah, we do. We've got a hockey guy coming on Thursday, so come by on Thursday for your morning coffee at 11 Eastern. Then, but for these guys, again, thank you so much for being here. And the last thing I'm going to say before I end this broadcast is tighten the fuck up. Let's go. Appreciate you guys.
Later, guys.